Hi friends! Thank you so much for joining us for this super exciting mini-series that we are doing. This is day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas, and we are just really excited to be here. As you probably know, I don't usually hop on the screen like this, but I have a special just jolt in my heart this year for engaged couples that are considering destination weddings. That is the way that the industry is trending. There are huge waves of couples who are in the middle of proposal season right now, which is so exciting and it's full of so much joy. And yet, as they consider, what do we want to do for our big day? A lot of people are going, destination, we want to go to Italy, we want to go to Munich, we want to go to France. And that's amazing, and that's what we do. But oftentimes, once they get there, they go, oh, but that sounds really hard. That sounds really scary. And so my heart is to use this mini series just as a little bit of a mini educational platform for these newly engaged couples to just get a better sense and understanding of how you can approach the destination wedding planning process, regardless of where your event is, whether it's stateside or abroad, and know that this is something you can do, especially with the right partners. So I'm going to deep dive in here. Day 1, one of the number 1 questions that we receive over here at TSWED is, how do we ensure that a destination wedding really reflects our couples authentically? This is huge for us. If you are a former couple of TSWED, you know that one of our top number 1 things that we say is that we really value authenticity and personal service. And so for us, as we consider approaching the destination wedding planning process, we are so intentional to really magnify our couples' personalities and unique stories and make sure that's at the forefront, not only of their planning process, but of course of their wedding week events as a whole. So we do this in 5 main ways. The first thing that we do is we curate with our couples a really intentional personal discovery process. Now, of course, we do this in advance when we're in the inquiring process with our couples. We want to make sure during that initial consultation that we're the right fit to move forward in the planning process together. However, once all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, the first thing that Danny and I do is have a discovery consultation with our new clients to make sure that we know the ins and outs of the things that are most important to our couples. We want to know not just things, the basic things like what's your favorite color palette and what kind of aesthetic do you want for your dinner reception. Those are important, don't get me wrong. But I want to know, what kind of bourbon do you like to drink, groom, when you are just enjoying your moment? Or sweet bride, what is your favorite lip stain? And how can I make sure to have 4 tubes of it available throughout your wedding week so you're never without it? We want to know these kinds of things. We want to know what is important to your grandma who's coming. What are her favorite flowers? Because we want to pop a few of those on her table centerpiece to make sure that she feels seen and loved in the midst of your wedding week. So we will deep dive and have a really intentional and personal discovery conversation or series of conversations with our clients at the very beginning of the planning process. And then we take all of that information and what we've learned and we sprinkle it in throughout the entirety of the planning process. Our goal, once your group gets on site for your destination wedding, we want people to walk into your wedding week and go, oh my gosh, if I could translate this couple into an event, this is it. We've never seen anything like this. We've never been to anything like this before. This is bride and groom completely transformed into an event. That's our goal. And so we really, really deep dive into that first. The second thing that we do once we've done that deep dive with you in the discovery process is we start to curate a very carefully crafted storyboard for your wedding week. Now, one of the things that TSWED prides ourselves on is that we are both a design house and a wedding planning firm. For those of you who know our beautiful Danielle, Miss Danny, she is our creative director and she does such an exquisite job of taking our clients' vision, venue, priorities, investment, all of the things in mind when she starts curating the really carefully crafted storyboard for your big day. We then take that storyboard and we present it to you, and we iron out any of the wrinkles that might not be perfect for you yet. So maybe you get to the bouquet page and you go, ooh, I love these 3 pictures, but this one doesn't quite hit the mark. Can we figure out how to sub that out so that when we do the mock-up of the bouquet, it doesn't include those elements? We will go through page by page, section by section to make sure that each and every detail really matches your aesthetic and your priorities. We want at the end of that process for you and your fiance to look at that storyboard and say, yes, this is exactly how I want to feel, what I want to gift to my guests. This is everything I want for my wedding week. So once that is done, we then really take in mind cultural sensitivities to the location that we're at and to your family and to your family's history. So if we are servicing a wedding in Hawaii, for example, we will be very culturally sensitive to Hawaiiana, to the Hawaiian culture. We will make sure that we are incorporating cultural elements that are appropriate and hopefully really fun. Maybe we do a conch shell blowing before the bride walks down the aisle. Maybe we greet each of your guests with a locally sourced, very unique and special lei. These are the kinds of things that are important to consider when we are visitors in another location. We want to be culturally appropriate there. It represents you well. It gives your guests a really authentic sense of place for whatever destination you've chosen, and it honors that culture. So that's really important to us. At the same time, we want to be really culturally sensitive to you. Is your family Korean? Do you want to have a payback ceremony? Are you Chinese? Do you need to have a tea ceremony that honors your parents in advance of the more Americanized traditional ceremony itself? We want to make sure that we are honoring these cultural traditions for your family, whether they're big or small, so that again, the whole wedding week really speaks authentically to who you guys are as a couple and to what priorities you hold dear. After that, we dive into a really sophisticated collaboration with all of the vendor partners that are going to be working alongside of you for your wedding week. So we make sure that they are, first and foremost, the right fit based on not only our discovery call, not only our sophisticated and really intentionally crafted storyboard, but also based on personality. At this point, we will have gotten to know and love you, and so we'll want to make sure that we are partnering with the right vendors that will know and love you equally. So we go through those vendor recommendations for you. We really try carefully to choose the right partners that are going to bring not only your vision to life, but bring the absolute biggest amount of joy to you and your guests during that wedding week. Finally, of course, it all ends with a flawless production and execution of the event itself. Our priority is to basically bear everything on our shoulders during the wedding week. So all you have to do is show up when and where we told you to show up, drink some champagne, love and enjoy your guests, and just know that we've got you. We'll come and get you when it's time for a lip gloss touch-up before a speech. We'll refill your drink before a toast. We make sure that we completely hold your hand, not only throughout the planning process, but also on site. So all you have to do is show up, enjoy what we've created together with the people that matter most to you, and relax, knowing that TSWED has already got you covered.